Hi, I'm Brian May, and this is the first video edition of Star Licks. This is the solo from Bohemian Rhapsody, and this uses the kind of screaming setting which I can get from these two pickups. Pickups 1 and 2 out of phase.
Hello, I'm Tony Iommi for Star Licks, and today I'll be playing some of my licks and telling you something about my equipment. Number 1 is from the Live Evil album, and the track's called Neon Nights. And now slow. This is lick number 3, it's NIB, from the live album. Right, and now the slow version.
Hey, how you doing? This is Zakk Wylde, and welcome to my instructional video. Here's an A. We'll start with vibrato, actually. What you want to do, what I've always done, is it's weird, I usually use my thumb over the top of the neck here when I'm going to be bending strings. We'll start with maybe your index finger here. And what happens is, I'll shape the string. It's not so much like this. What you want to do is try and get a side thing here. So your hand's kind of moving sideways this way. It's pretty much that's the way you want to do it. And if you can, practice it eventually so you can get maybe 2 strings in there. So it's... That's 1 string. The 2 strings would be your G and your B.
Hi, this is Gary Holt, Guitarist for Exodus, and welcome. In this DVD, I'll show you some of my favorite licks, some advanced variations on them that I've built a 20-plus year career on. Jimmy Page lick, cornerstone of all great rock solos. 3 notes, simple and effective. A little faster.
Hi, welcome to my instructional videotape. Today I'm going to be covering shapes, tapping, excerpts from solos, bending and vibrato, and some of my favorite licks. The first licks you saw in the jam was a blues stretch, basically descending in fourths, with a little trill on the top. It's 12, 15, 19, trilling up to 20, back down to 19, sliding up to 20, sliding back down to 19, pulling off 15 and 12. Doing the same things minus the slide on the B string.
Hi, I'm Alex Lifeson with Rush, and I'd like to welcome you to my segment of the iVideo Tunes. The song is in the key of E, and the first chord is a barred E at the 7th fret. So, the second chord is this chord, which I wish I could tell you the name of, but I don't know, and it is. Then the third chord is, which is an A chord with the added D and G. And then the fourth chord is, remember the second chord, if you just move that down 2 frets, and that's it.
But I'll just go over the things most people get wrong on it. That part. Because I keep this on the bottom, which all the tabs I've seen, and I've watched that one. It doesn't do that. They think it's F sharp to a D to an E, and it's not. I mean, it basically, but I keep the root note the same, so it's.
making music, not just playing exercises, being in control of what you're doing. Do it, handle it. That's what we're going to do today. You're going to get it down, you're going to learn it, you're going to learn what I say, and you're going to live it. So what I'm going to do is have the progression go by. I'll show you what's going on in my head. We'll do it really slow this time so we can get an idea of what's happening. Got to do something for E now. Right about now I start thinking of D. Give me a little break. The more I sustain, the more time I have to think about the next chord. Gotta get to E.
Well, here's a new thing I've been doing, a new pattern that involves string skipping. It starts off with an E minor kind of shape, something like this. If you've seen any of my other instructional videos, you've definitely seen that before. It's got a couple little variations on it. I like the way it sounds. So let me play through it kind of slow. You can get the feel of it. It sounds like this.
Well, the first thing I started learning on acoustic was fingerstyle. So kind of basically a good place to start is on a full chord like G or E. Kind of pluck the bottom and top string at the same time. And then have your thumb alternate like that. And then you kind of add the other ones in between after you get used to this. And you play this for about an hour, have it down.
Okay, the next song I'm going to teach you guys is Shock Me. It was on the Love Gun album. It was pretty much inspired by an incident that happened in Lakeland, Florida in 1976 where I was electrocuted on stage and luckily survived. You know, I've seen a lot of people play it. They don't play it right. I'm bending the E string from a G flat to a G. And I'm hitting the top four strings, the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth strings to get this effect. So it's... Then I go to a D sus. Back to the G.